And we begin with a major development in the DWI deception scandal. The admitted ringleader has fallen. Local attorney Thomas Clear III just accepted a plea deal admitting to his role in this decades-long drunk driving extortion scheme.
In federal court filings, he admits since the 90s he had orchestrated a plan to get payments from drunk driving suspects and then pay police to not show up so those cases would eventually be dismissed.
And again, we can't stress this enough. It's such a major development in this investigation. So let's get to our 4 investigator, Ryan Laughlin. You've been looking really into Thomas Clear III for quite a while. So what can you say about the plea deal and maybe some insight to the timing here?
Well, Tessa, this is the biggest domino to fall in this criminal enterprise by far. Thomas Clear III is the attorney at the center of all of this. And in this bombshell plea deal, he admits he led this scheme. The plea agreement details how this DWI deception scheme grew since the 1990s alongside his confidant, Rick Mendez. Remember, it was Mendez that took that plea deal more than 2 weeks ago for operating as Clear's right-hand man. He called him a paralegal, but this was the guy that orchestrated payments, talked with those DWI suspects, and in today's plea agreement, it shows how Mendez tried to insulate Clear with direct involvement to this scheme. Now that the ringleader of this scheme has fessed up for his crime, is this as high as it goes? Who has Clear been talking to? We don't know, but the FBI might.
To top it off, yesterday the agents came and took my phone and my laptop to mirror them. So I don't have my phone right.
You catch that? He said mirror them. Mirroring someone's cell phone or laptop means it allows a third party to see in real time what is happening on a device. If that indeed happened and he didn't misspeak, that means Clear was cooperating with the FBI, and anyone who contacted Clear since February last year is now on the FBI's radar. We reached out to Clear's attorney, Tom Clark. He would not say if Clear was cooperating, only saying it is safe to say that this is not the best day of Mr. Clear's life. No sentencing date has been set. The top charge, single charge, carries no more than 20 years in prison, but if you stack them all on top of each other, he's looking at over 100 years of prison time. He's 67 years old, by the way. Tessa?
Yeah, not a good day for him at all, I would say. Okay, Ryan, thanks. So Clear is not the only one taking a plea deal just today. Former APD officer Neil Elsman resigned last year after the FBI also flagged him as being possibly involved. He is now the 3rd former APD officer to plead guilty, joining Honorio Alba Jr. and Joshua Montano, who took deals just last week. And as Ryan said, Thomas Clear III admitted to being the lead of this DWI enterprise for 30 years. We have the pleasure of having U.S. Attorney for New Mexico, Alex Ubaez, joining us again to talk about yet another deal in this case. Ryan alluded to it a little more. Is Clear at this point, from what you can share, the biggest suspect in this investigation? He has admitted to leading the efforts, but he also revealed that he started this in '95, which is a lot earlier than what we were even reporting last week.
Yeah, great to be here with you, Tessa. And he is clearly the hub around which these spokes turned. And the genesis of many of these components of the scheme. And so as he outlines in his plea agreements, he came up with this scheme where he used many different generations of law enforcement through many different agencies over the years in order to make money for himself. And so I think it's obvious that he is a very important member of this scheme. So because he has now taken this deal, could we expect to see more people implicated than what we had even been reporting in just the past few months? Because if he's the admitted leader, he knows all of the happenings over the past few decades. Sure. One of our jobs as law enforcement, especially federal law enforcement, is to build the trust of the public in the systems that serve them. This scheme has really shaken the foundation of much of the public's trust in our law enforcement, our criminal justice system, and its attorneys. And so it really is our job, and in every case, of course, to follow the facts and to prove the crimes that occurred, but especially when it is here striking at the foundation of our systems. It is our job to leave no stone unturned and to keep digging until we know that we've rooted out the corruption.
We have about 30 seconds left. The last time you joined us, we talked about the timing, the quickness of these plea deals coming down. Do you foresee even a faster waterfall, so to speak, because Thomas Clear III has now taken a deal?
I expect that people who are involved will start reading the tea leaves and see the dominoes, as you call them, falling.
Yeah.
And we'll start coming to the table.
All right. And literally, we love having you at our table when these developments happen. Love to have you back with the next development.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, in the meantime, we know that Thomas Clear III had been reportedly cooperating with the FBI investigation because, as you previously heard, he told Albuquerque police they mirrored his phone and laptop. Now, that admission was made to APD after they were called to his home office following a break-in weeks after it was raided by the feds.
The FBI raided my house 3 weeks ago yesterday. That dress came to the office, and the power's been cut, and they broke into it, and they ransacked it. But they were looking for something.
Surveillance video shows a pair of masked men outside his home office 3 weeks after the FBI raided it. That video shows one of those men go around the home and appear to shut off the power. During a walkthrough with police, you could see papers were scattered all over the floor and drawers and filing cabinets had been opened. But the only items Clear noted as missing and the only ones officially reported as stolen in the police report were some autographed baseballs.
Albuquerque Police Chief Harold Medina responded to today's developments, saying we worked with the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office to finally expose Tom Clear's criminal scheme. We also worked internally at APD to hold officers accountable. 10 officers have left the department as a result of our investigation.
Now, we're also hearing from Bernalillo County Sheriff John Allen for the first time on camera since the feds revealed last month that BCSO was also involved in the DWI deception scheme.
So far, just one Bernalillo County deputy, Jeff Hammerl, is on administrative leave. Let's get to Brittany Costello because, Brittany, there is a lot Sheriff Allen says he just doesn't know right now.
Yeah, that's right. And he was pretty frustrated by that today, saying he only found out about his deputy's alleged involvement when Hammerl called him, saying the FBI was at his door. Without more communication, he says it's nearly impossible for him to know where this starts and where it ends. Hammerl has been a deputy with BCSO since 2010 with the DWI unit for more than a decade. Right now, the agency does not have a tracking system that allows the department to tally those missed court dates. So when the scheme was announced last year, Sheriff John Allen says he started looking back at those cases and connections to Attorney Clear, but without more direction from the feds, he says case dismissals alone are not enough to start pulling deputies.
What do I move forward with on assuming? That's it. What do I move forward? I don't have any information. So I can sit here and again, I can make you and everybody feel good and be like, you know what? I'm going to put 10 random deputies on leave because I believe that they had a high dismissal rate and they're involved. That would be a disservice to the public also. I need to be responsible.
Sheriff Allen says he will do everything he can to ensure those who need to be held accountable will be held accountable. For him, that means letting the feds build these cases without intervention. Unfortunately, that also means not knowing if or who else within the department is involved in this. Do you think there are others?
I would say another question is, do you trust that there's not others? I don't trust anything, especially at this point. I would be naive to say there wouldn't be others. Do I know who they are? No. Could they still be here? Possibly. Is it someone that's not here anymore? Possibly. Everything is on the table at this point.
While we wait, Sheriff Allen says the department is moving on a new office to bring accountability to BCSO. We'll tell you more about that plan tonight at 6.
Brittany, thanks so much. This investigation is in quite a rapid phase at this point. Our team coverage continues tonight on KOB4 at 6, and of course the Night Beat at 10 and at KOB.com.